Hey there, Central Ohio. I'm 10 Weather Impact meteorologist Michael Behrens. We're keeping an eye on the radar on this Friday afternoon as a line of showers and storms continues to work its way through Central Ohio. But the good news is for your Friday evening, most all of this rain should be gone, and that means it's gone out of here in time for Friday night football as well. Those first and 10 games looking pretty good as we head into tonight. So let's go ahead and dive right into the forecast. We'll take a look at your weather impact headlines heading to the next 24 hours. The rain that we have in place right now will be pushing its way out of the region, and then the sunshine will return as we head into Saturday. It's going to make for a pretty nice 24-hour period here, especially for tomorrow. But what you do need to watch out for is what comes after this. By the time we get into Sunday, that's when things start to change and we start to cool things off, eventually on our way to some snow potential as we head toward next week. We'll have more on that in just a little bit. First off, though, I want to get you up to date on where the rain is right now. The heavier band that pushed through earlier today is exiting the 10 TV viewing area, and we've just got scattered light showers, occasionally a rumble of thunder that's left over behind that system as of now. We'll show you that rainfall across the region, mostly just nuisance mist and light rainfall here across Franklin County. That line you see from Delaware just south of Marysville back to about Springfield is kind of the back end of this system. Once that gets past us, we should be done with any chance for rain for the rest of the day. A few more moderate showers as you get up toward Mount Vernon, over toward Coshocton. Again, back end not far from you guys. It's up toward Mansfield, again stretching there pretty much along US 42. Down further to the south, the only real heavy shower we still have in place right now has just worked its way out of Circleville, heading over toward Lancaster right now. We'll continue to keep a close eye on these cells as we head through the next couple of hours here, but I don't expect to see much from this other than some heavy downpours. We'll track that cell right now that's near Clear Creek off toward the east-northeast. It's moving about 20 miles per hour, not all that fast. It'll be into Clearport by 220, Bern by 241, and North Bern by 252. Biggest threat here is going to be a little bit of wind gust, possibly some heavy downpours. You can see that really coming into Clear Creek here more or less right now, seeing that rainfall pick up for you guys. A little bit further to the south, also some moderate showers continue in Athens County. They've really worked their way out of Athens proper right now. Same with MacArthur down to Jackson, but we've also got another area of some more moderate rainfall working its way over into Pike County. This is about to pick up in Waverly. If you're down in the southern counties, watch out for, again, a little bit of a heavy downpour here quickly before that rainfall moves on out, and then we can start to clear things up for the rest of the afternoon. In terms of rainfall from this system, hasn't produced all that much across the region. Some of the heavier areas off in our northeastern counties, maybe up to about a ½ inch. Most of us picking up radar estimates somewhere between 1/10 to 1/4 of an inch of rainfall out of this system. So again, not a major rain producer and pretty quick moving, so only a minimal impact here on your Friday. And thankfully, while most people are at work, that means, again, with the clearing pattern, by the time you head home later tonight, or you go out to the Friday night games, if you're still playing in the second week of the playoffs, we should see clearing weather move in. We're already back to sunshine in Fort Wayne in northwest Ohio. That is pushing our way. That's what we have to look forward to as we head into the weekend. For now, though, still pretty cloudy outside. We see those clouds. We see that mist, that sort of low-hanging cloud layer across the region. Temperatures, honestly, not so bad out there, hanging around mostly in the 50s and 60s this afternoon. 54 right now here in Columbus, 61 Circleville, 61 Chillicothe, and 63 down in Piketon. Those temperatures out there will cool some, of course, tonight once the skies start to clear, but not all that much. We're still holding on to the 50s by kickoff for most of those games around 7 tonight. We'll be down into the mid to low 50s by the time they wrap up, and eventually down into the 40s as we head toward early tomorrow. Winds out there remain a little gusty from time to time, gusting as high as 21 Lancaster, 22 in Washington Courthouse, and 24 in Kenton. These winds will start to die down in the coming hours as well. Forecast here shows us backing those gusts down to about the 15-mile-per-hour range by 7 o'clock and continuing downward as we head into the weekend. Of course, we are keeping an eye on rain and then snow chances over the next 7 days. Once we get past the rain today, more rain comes back Sunday into Monday, and that's the one that could come with that wintry weather. So let's get you ready for it hour by hour. We'll start here at the rest of the day today where that rain moves out. Then as we get into Saturday, clearing skies come in. Could see a little bit of patchy fog early in the day, but that would be about it. We see the cloud cover continue to increase as we head into the evening hours. And then once we get into Sunday, that's when we start to see some rain shower chances again move back into the region. Not expecting this to be severe weather, but just kind of a dreary looking kind of day as the rain showers push across the region Sunday. Sunday into Monday, though, watch this. We have the cold air wrap around that low pressure system, and that could push some flurries into the region by the time we head into Monday. Scattered light snowfall takes us into early next week, and it could be the first snowfall of the year. Will any of it stick? I'm skeptical on that. Our temperatures have been pretty warm. The 10 Weather Impact 7-day forecast, you can see here we're in the 60s both today and tomorrow. We're still well above freezing Sunday, and even Monday afternoon. Temperatures up there above that freezing mark. But again, in the morning, that would be the best time for something to stick. I would say windshields, probably the biggest perpetrator out there if we're going to see any snow stick around on Monday. I don't think it'll be quite cold enough to be a major impact to any of the roads. Our temperatures out there from there go back up. Tuesday into the 40s after starting the morning in the 20s, and then we're above freezing all the time again by the time we head toward next Wednesday and Thursday. But you can bet we're going to keep a close eye on this forecast as we head through the weekend and refine any of the timing and if there's any accumulation with that snowfall heading into Monday as we work our way through the next couple of days. So make sure you stay with 10 TV for the latest on that. And of course, you saw the snow in the forecast, and that is a great reminder that it's November. And for many, that means it's time of the year to start to get into the holiday spirit. One of the best indicators, well, the Rockefeller Christmas tree is officially cut down and is on its way to New York. This year's tree is from East Greenbush, New York, a 75-foot tall tree that will be decorated with more than 50,000 lights when it finally makes its way over there to the Rockefeller Center. Beautiful picture there. And of course, before we get to the snow, though, there's plenty.
Visit viatoyota.com.
There's plenty to do this weekend when it comes to things here in Central Ohio. And of course, it starts tonight with high school football. Week 2 of the high school football playoffs, and we have you covered with the 1st and 10 game of the week. It's a big one. 9-0 Watterson hosting 8-3 Granville. We'll be there live this evening, 4, 5, and 6. Make sure you catch Dom here. And of course, that game slated for kickoff at 7 o'clock. But we don't stop there. We've got games all over the region tonight, including the game of the week. Watterson hosting Granville. Olentangy Berlin is at Olentangy Orange, while Liberty is at Olentangy. Lots of Olentangys tonight. We'll have Groveport at Pick Central, while Upper Arlington is at Pick North. Plus, London hosts the Cincinnati team, the Cincinnati Nicholas team there. And we'll have Johnstown at Jonathan, Alder, Ashland at DeSales, and St. Trace at Academy. Those are the games we'll cover tonight on 1st and 10. Make sure you join us here at 11 o'clock. And of course, it's not just high school we watch this time of year. Top-ranked Buckeyes, they're back in action this Saturday, but you'll have to watch it on TV this time as they're on the road at Purdue. The Boilermakers are 2-7 on the year and have lost 7 in a row, but the Boilers are playing much better than they had been. They only lost by 5 points at Michigan last weekend. Plus, they're playing at Ross-Ade Stadium, and it can be an adventure. Since 2000, the Buckeyes have 4 wins to 5 losses there.
You want to turn the ball over, you're going to find yourself in a game in the fourth quarter. We learned that lesson last week. We don't want to tackle well, we're going to find ourselves in a game in the second half. If we continue to do what we've been doing and be efficient and follow the plan and win in the situations and play really, really hard and grade out a champion, everyone does their job, then it'll be a good day.
You can see all that interview of Coach Day this coming Saturday morning, 9 a.m. right here on 10 TV. Game time of Ryan Day, the official coaches show of the Ohio State football team. And heading toward the weekend, if sports aren't your thing and you don't have any plans yet, we've still got you covered. 10 TV's Jay Plyburn previews some family-friendly events that are taking place this weekend.
On Saturday from 10 to noon, head to the National Veterans Memorial and Museum for the Be My Neighbor Day celebration. There will be a meet and greet with Daniel Tiger and Katarina Kitty Cat, plus art activities. The event is free, but advance registration is required. Then, between 1:30 and 4:30, swing by the shops at Worthington Place for Super STEM Saturday. The free event offers hands-on STEM activities for kids ages 6 to 14, plus tips for parents about raising a STEM-oriented child. And finally, if you're a fan of documentaries, don't miss the 9th annual Unorthodox Film Festival at the Wexner Center for the Arts.
So we try to bring as many filmmakers as we can from around the world, from around the country, or even right here in Ohio, and just celebrate what's possible with documentary these days.
It's an eclectic mix of relevant and exciting stories, in many cases using archival footage to create a unique viewing experience.
And we've shown 2 films that went on to win Best Oscar documentaries. I think we've shown 10 that have gotten nominations. So it's always a tricky thing with this festival. You might not have heard about these films yet, but in a few months, these are going to be the films everybody's talking about.
More than a dozen documentaries will be shown between Thursday and Monday. Some of the films are free, with all-access festival passes starting at $16.
Jay Plyburn, 10 TV News.
And from weekend plans to some news about our environment, the northern Brazilian city of Belém, located at the mouth of the Amazon River, will host the COP30 Climate Summit this month amid growing concerns over logistical challenges and shifting global priorities on climate action. This year's COP Summit takes place after U.S. President Donald Trump had sought to lead a shift away from climate action, and Europe's priorities change as their economies struggle. Brazil, which selected Belém in a bid to highlight the Amazon's critical role in absorbing planet-warming emissions, is now scrambling to prepare for the influx of roughly 45,000 delegates. The city, capital of the Pará state, with a population of 2.1 million, typically only has around 18,000 hotel beds. Small island states on the front line of rising sea levels are confronted with having to consider reducing the size of their delegations to the event, while European nations said they were considering not attending at all. Organizers are working to convert cruise ships, churches, and even love motels into temporary housing in an effort to ease the shortfall. Despite the challenges, Brazil hopes Belém's location on the edge of the rainforest will help refocus attention on the threats facing one of the world's most vital ecosystems. The summit will take place November 10th through the 21st. And one animal species that has been at the front lines of climate change is the polar bear, and now scientists are using smart new technology to help save polar bears in Canada, where melting sea ice has wiped out nearly 50% of the population. A silent, all-electric tundra buggy helps researchers get closer to the bears in order to study them, and can even broadcast live to the world. It's a military-grade radar they call BearDAR that can help detect polar bears as they get closer to towns, keeping both people and the animals safe.
You think a large animal would be very easy to see and a hard target, but that thick fur makes them a very soft radar target.
Researchers say polar bears are facing longer ice-free seasons than ever before, making it harder for them to hunt and survive. And staying with the polar regions, an Antarctic glacier shrunk by nearly 50% in just 2 months. It's the fastest retreat recorded in modern history, according to a new study. The Hectoria Glacier in Antarctica, one of the fastest warming regions on the Earth, in the Antarctic Peninsula, that is roughly the size of Philadelphia. But according to the study published this past week in the journal Nature Geoscience, the glacier retreated by 5 miles between November and December 2022. The study's authors say larger glaciers retreat at similar rates. It could have a catastrophic implication for sea level rise. They say similar melting pattern had happened before around 15 to 19,000 years ago during a period of warming that ended the last ice age. Experts say Hectoria's retreat is heavily influenced by climate change. And in a warmer climate, the Simpashell growers, they have been left reeling from torrential rains and droughts and other impacts from climate change on their fields. Farmers who depend on the natural ebbs and flows of the weather to cultivate their crops are on the front line of the climate crisis. This year alone, the Simpashell producers say they have lost half their flower crop from heavy rains and flooding. This orange flower has become a symbol of Mexico's Day of the Dead celebrations that take place every November 1st and 2nd. Also known as the flower of the dead. The Simpashell is believed to be a point of connection between the worlds of the dead and living, with the bright petals and helping to light the path of dead souls to altars set out by their family. The flowers are also a crucial economic engine across the country, with commerce groups saying they rake in nearly $2.7 million for farmers in 2025. And finally, we all know how important bees can be to sustaining our environment, but in one California city, they ordered a 9-year-old boy to remove his 4-H beekeeping project from his home. However, after the beekeeping community and other residents accused officials of overreacting, it appears the city has reconsidered their position. John Ramos introduces the boy who created all the buzz.
Nicholas Bard is 9 years old, and for 3 years, the bees he's kept have taught him a lot. But now, in the last 6 months, he's gotten quite an education in politics as well.
So here's my colony right here.
When Nicholas Bard first began raising bees as a 4-H project, he had no idea what it would do for him. How much of a learning experience has this been for you?
An incredible one. It's probably the best decision I've made ever.
Really?
Yeah.
It's that important to you?
Yeah.
He's become quite an expert on the subject and was willing to share some of that knowledge, but first we had to suit up. Nicholas says bees aren't naturally aggressive except when the hive is threatened, and they post guard bees at the entrance to keep watch. His parents help him lift the various sections of the hive when it comes time to check on the honey production.
We get involved because we've all sort of fallen in love with them, but yeah, these are definitely his bees.
We'll sit out here and just watch the bees go in and out of the hive. Just like sometimes it's our television. So it's very relaxing, very peaceful.
Worker bees in the hive are all females, and they and other pollinators are essential to plants and help produce about 75% of the nation's food crops. But a general fear of bees has led Santa Rosa to ban beekeeping. And in March, after a neighbor complained, the Bards received a letter calling Nicholas's 4-H project a, quote, home occupation, demanding that it be removed and threatening that a warrant would be issued if necessary to inspect the property. In the city's ordinance, it classified honeybees in the category of property nuisances. Considering how you feel about these, what did it feel like when they called them a nuisance insect?
How did it feel, girls? Horrible, they say. Like, it was like having one of your family members being bullied, because that's what was happening.
The Bards appealed the decision, but the city stood firm.
So we had him look back 30 years, and over 30 years, they've never enforced that code.
This is the first time?
First time, yeah.
That's when the beekeeping community got involved, including Etta Marie Peterson, who mentors young beekeepers and is affectionately known as Sonoma's Queen Bee.
Dealing with Santa Rosa, I'm not sure. They've got to fix that.
Etta Marie says there are probably 100 beehives currently in Santa Rosa, and it seemed to her like city officials were surprised to even discover that beekeeping was illegal in their city.
I've traveled all over the world meeting other beekeepers.
Have you ever seen an ordinance like Santa Rosa's?
Not written like that, no.
But now it looks like there's been a change of heart, which could lead to a change in the law.
We received over 100 emails from people in support of beekeeping in the county or in the city. We decided that instead of going through that process, we were going to find a better path forward. And that path forward was a staff-initiated zoning code amendment.
Nicholas says he's never been stung by one of his bees. And while he doesn't want to say, "I told you so," well, actually, he does.
I just want to thank whoever complained for this amazing experience. I've learned so much about politics and how cities work.
What do you think works better, a beehive or City Hall?
Probably a beehive, definitely. I mean, they don't have waste. They're not bullying anybody. They don't fight at all. So, yeah.
So we can learn a lot from bees?
Yes, we can.
And finally today, let's check out some new video into us here at 10 TV. First up, more than 65,000 hatchlings of the Terracotta turtles were released into a river basin out in Peru's Amazon. It's one of the region's largest participatory conservation efforts. That release took place in the Sierra del Divisor National Park, aiming to restore populations of endangered freshwater species. And one more video here real quick. Amazing video captured earlier this week during the supermoon Thursday when a camera in Huntsville caught a meteor streaking across the sky at the same time as that full beaver moon. Check that out. How cool is that video there, capturing that, again, fireball up in the sky. Well, that's all the time we have today for our 10 Weather Impact Show. I'll be back later tonight with more on our snow chances for Monday. Till then, you can find more online.